Hello and welcome to Talking Good Games match preview. West Ham United against Bournemouth. Thursday night is transfer deadline day, but it's also when we take on the Cherries at the London Stadium. Gonzo, can you kick us off with your thoughts on Bournemouth, please?
Yeah, I'm an admirer of the club, no doubt about it at all. I have a certain fondness for it, actually. To be fair, having lived down that way for a little portion of my life, I think they're doing really well now. I think they took a big risk in sacking O'Neill, but it appears to be a wise move, actually. Not that there's anything wrong with O'Neill, far from it. I think they could have kept O'Neill and had been quite safe and probably enjoyed a decent season. Possibly even as it stands, the league position wouldn't have been that much different. But I think they've sort of bought into and emotionally invested in a new brand of football, a new club ethos, and a new style. And I think when you know you've got a good manager there, you could argue maybe there might be some slight parallels with West Ham, quite possibly. You know you've got a manager who's going to keep you there and do all the stuff, but actually your ethos, you want to go a slightly different way. And he had a little rocky road, and I don't mean he had a bit of chocolate with marshmallow in it. He had a little horrible little start to his career, the fella. And there was a little bit of pressure on him, and the Bournemouth owner, I heard him, can't remember his name, American guy, I heard him speak, and he said, no, we're sticking with him. This is the direction I want to go in. And then incrementally, bit by bit, they got a little bit better. Now, you look at the football that they've been playing, and there have been times this season, Gio, you notice I've said this, but I've been worried that Bournemouth might finish above us. And I just really like the football they play. He's getting the very best out of a player that nobody else has managed to get the best out of since he's under 21 days in Solanke. And I think, I say they're a club going places, they're probably near their ceiling. But, you know, for them to be looking, if I was them, I'd be looking at another South Coast club that begins with B. And I'd be thinking, we'll have a little bit of that, thank you very much. And I think there's a lot to admire in what they've done.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's your proof. West Ham fans get told, be careful what you wish for and all that. Well, actually, Bournemouth are living proof that you can change how you play, change your identity, change your culture, and the results certainly don't get worse. We could debate whether O'Neill would be doing similar results, not as good or slightly better. I don't think there's much in it. I think it's fair to say it would be similar. But even if you were to say that it's no better than what O'Neill would have done, well, that's fine. But the brand of football to watch is far more enjoyable than what Gary O'Neill served up at Bournemouth last season. And as we know, as us West Ham fans at the minute are saying, there's nothing wrong from desiring more entertainment. Well, that's what Bournemouth fans did. When O'Neill went, they went, well, it wasn't that good. He did a good job keeping us up, but that's it. It wasn't that entertaining. They've gone down a new route. And when we played them on the first game of the season, it was difficult to know what to expect, really. And even after the game, I still wasn't sure what to expect because it was his first ever competitive game as Bournemouth manager. You can't judge him on that. And like you said, the start at Bournemouth was sort of like, it didn't blow you away. It was a new manager getting to grips and trying to change the way that Bournemouth played, using players that had previously been playing a completely different way. So he was trying to change everything over one summer, which is a difficult thing to do. But now, I have to admit, they're one of the better teams to watch in the Premier League. Whereas previously, and I don't just mean last season under O'Neill, I mean previously, even under Howe at some points, not always, where if Bournemouth was the game on TV, they'd be a bit, oh, okay, I'll watch it. But now I meet it with a different reaction, which is, oh, good, Bournemouth's on. I'm looking forward to watching this as a neutral. Regardless of who they're playing, it's going to be a good game. And then when Bournemouth played Spurs not too long ago, I thought this will be a cracker. There was 4 goals involved. They got beat. But I'll tell you what, it was end-to-end stuff. 2 managers, played really good football, trying to win the game. And I, as a neutral, I could enjoy that game as a spectacle. So he's finally got his fingerprints all over the club. You know, what he's doing on the pitch is his team now. Do you have... I don't know how to word this. He only signed a 2-year contract at Bournemouth. Initially, he wanted a 1-year one. Now, I only know this because I've already spoken to Kirk, the Bournemouth fan, and he gave me a little bit of a context around the manager. So he wanted a 1-year contract. The club wanted him to sign a 3-year one. They met in the middle and signed a 2-year one. But that would insinuate that perhaps he's got one eye on leaving Bournemouth at some point in the future. As a Bournemouth, would you be worrying a little bit that his name might be popping up in conversations?
A little bit, but I wouldn't overly worry about it, I have to say. I just don't think there are a whole ton of clubs in world football that are capable of taking Premier League managers. I really don't. And that's really been highlighted. And I thought this for some time. I wondered when like the COVID effect and the television deal effect of Premier League football that followed COVID was going to kick in, because everyone lost money over COVID, but Premier League was the only league in the world that actually managed to sign a bigger TV deal and get richer following COVID. Everyone else got significantly poorer unless you got some more oil wells in the back of your garden. And I look at, there's only so many of these managers to go round, be it De Zerbi or Alonso or the rest of it. And obviously there's a period of mourning for Jurgen Klopp at the moment, but they can only go and take one manager, Liverpool, one manager. And they're not all going to go there. So yes, I would understand the concern, but I would say two things. Firstly, I've already said it. Who's going to come and take him? Maybe not everyone. There are possibly in Premier League, let's say there might only be 10 clubs possibly who might be able to go and take Bournemouth's manager. In European football, there ain't that many. They're the big names. You already know them, and they've probably already got pretty damn good managers. Barcelona ain't coming and taking Bournemouth's manager. Let's put it that way. I think the other thing I would say is your owner has already proven himself adept at recruiting managers. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. I reckon this is about the succession plan. This is what's good. And this is why you should be pleased with the infrastructure that's been put in. If they lose him, I'm pretty sure he'd have someone else lined up. It would be quite good.
Well, Bournemouth's quite exciting to watch, Gonzo. How far do you think they can go? Because they do have an ambitious owner, with improvements off the pitch in terms of the infrastructure of the club. But with FFP, I say this new thing of FFP, it's not new, but it feels new. Do you know what I mean? The repercussions feel new compared to the tightness, how serious they're taking it now feels newer than what they perhaps previously were. So with that restriction in place, how far do you think Bournemouth can go?
Ninth, I think, would be the sort of thing. And then maybe, they can really build up to it and have a good season and at some point qualify for Europe would be good. And, I'd be sort of looking at that and thinking, do what we did really, which is, get into Europe, have a good run in the Conference League or something like that would be amazing. And you should dream and you should be able to. I mean, you've got to look at Fulham all those years ago, getting to the under Roy Hodgson, didn't they? They got to the UEFA Cup final. Amazing. So, I think it can be done. Look, regularly finishing the top six, forget it. But they could dream and aspire to be a top half Premier League team.
Yeah, I think it swings and roundabouts because I think FFP might make it difficult for them to break into the upper echelons of the Premier League. But what it also does do, I think, is make it difficult for Championship clubs to come in and stay in the Premier League. So while Bournemouth lose out on one hand, I think they're also protected on the other, which is it'll be easier now to be a stable Premier League club and be a mainstay in the league. They've been in the Premier League for a large period of time now. They had the relegation, but it's a large period they've been in it. And because of that, the losses they're allowed compared to a newly promoted team is substantial and significant. And that gives them a huge advantage when it comes to the transfer markets, when it comes to staying in the league. So I think they can benefit and miss out. I think they also benefit as well. And I think this season is almost like a really good symbol of Bournemouth in the sense that they're not in a relegation battle. They won't be in a relegation battle. Playing really good football. It's entertaining to watch. They're in the FA Cup. And I think they can have ambitions to go on and win it. I think their fans should be looking at that, thinking, let's go win that FA Cup, because that is possibly the more realistic chance of getting into European football in the next couple of seasons without anything drastic occurring. Going well in a domestic competition and winning it, and you need a little bit of luck on the draw, but I think that's more likely to occur than Bournemouth breaking into the top six of the Premier League anytime soon. Maybe long term that will change, but like I said, I think something drastic will have to occur in order for that to become a reality. But for now, I think this season, you look at the FA Cup draw, you look at the league tables, and you look at Bournemouth and think it could be your year. You will need a lot of luck with a quarterfinal draw and a semi-final draw, but if you can get that luck, you just never know. And because of the manager they've almost got permission to dream now, which is actually, we are a good team. We do have good players. We are playing good football. We do have a winning mentality now. And when you take all those things into consideration and what you need to be in order to be a good cup team, Bournemouth are ticking all the boxes this season, actually. Good on. I don't want them to win it because selfish reasons. I want West Ham to get European football.
Yeah.
But anyway, players you admire from Bournemouth.
Well, I mean, I was really looking forward to seeing Alex Scott and Kirkes this season, actually. And I think you have to factor that in, neither of whom were available at the start of the season. So they've not been able, whatever his plan is, we've not seen the full fruition of his plan. But I think we obviously saw Kirkes at close quarters last season. It was brilliant. I really wanted us to sign him. We didn't. That's fine. Scott, we were linked to, he's gone to Bournemouth. I still think he's a very, very good player. I think there's a lot of potential there, by the way. I haven't seen lots of them. Every time I see them, they play fast, cheeky football. And I like fast, cheeky football. I really do. And I say Clivert's, the couple of times I've seen him, looked okay. Tavernier, every time I watch him, every time I switch the telly on, he scores. So I'm going to stop switching the telly on. Do you know what I mean? When we play him, because he does. And obviously the big success story, I think is Solanke. I think Brooks. I was pleased to see Brooks come back. Let me just say that. But I believe they might be open to moving him on now. But I think that's a great story. I love the Brooks story. I think that's great.
Yeah, he's off to Southampton on loan, David Brooks. I agree with the players you picked out. And he's doing well with. I'm pleased. While you're pleased to see Brooks back, and understand why. For similar, obviously not a serious reason, I'm pleased to see Lewis Cook in that midfield holding the place down, because I thought he was going to the top before that injury at Bournemouth. It's good to see him on his way back. But Ryan Christie, for selfish reasons, is in there and playing well at the moment as well. And Tavernier, I thought he made a mistake joining Bournemouth when he did, because I felt if he stayed where he was at Borough, they might have come up that season. Now, obviously they didn't. But I still didn't feel it worked for him last season. I think he was a bit of a disappointment, actually, because I thought he was a really top player in the Championship. But this season, a bit hit and miss. But I do think he's having some really good games. Like you said, Solanke, you're getting the best out of him now. But Alex Scott, I've only seen him twice off the bench for Bournemouth this season. But I always say sometimes you'll need to see a player a handful of times to know he's a top player. You don't need to watch them every single week. He's just got so much ability. It's just frustrating because of how we were linked to him. And I know rumours are just rumours, but I'm not going to apologise for getting my hopes up about potentially signing an exciting player. So when we got linked to Alex Scott, I really wanted us to go and get him, and we didn't. And it felt he went unchallenged to Bournemouth, not just by West Ham, by everybody. It felt like Bournemouth, we just all let Bournemouth go in and get him. And it was one of them that I think we might come to regret. And I put him up there with Eze. Remember when Eze went to Palace, I thought we might regret not trying to get him. We might not have got him. We might have still preferred Bournemouth, but we didn't even make a serious attempt to get him when I think his quality was obvious at Bristol City. He's gone to Bournemouth. A couple of games I've seen him off the bench, and you can see that quality already. And he worries me on Thursday night. He does. But anyway, enough about Bournemouth, Gonzo. Shall we discuss West Ham?
Yeah, but we probably should do, shouldn't we?
We're going to kick it off with the team news. It's a bit of a lengthy one this week. We do not have Vladimir Soufal. He is suspended. We do not have Saeed Ben Rama. He is also suspended. And we do not have Nafer Gerd. He is still in African Nations, but one player who's not involved in African Nations anymore is Mohammed Kudus, who's available for selection, as is Edson Alves and Pablo Fornals after they missed the previous game against Sheffield United. There's a big question mark over Lucas Paqueta. He's back now. His wife has said, his wife who gave us updates saying he wasn't ready for the previous game, has given us an update that he's not nearly 100%. So there's I would say an outside chance that he might make the squad for Thursday night, but I wouldn't get your hopes up too much. And Kalvin Phillips is available for selection should David Moyes wish to use his new signing. Now, any player that West Ham wish to use or Bournemouth wish to use on Thursday need to be signed by midday on Wednesday. So any new signing has to be registered by midday on Wednesday in order to participate on Thursday's game. Right, Gonzo. Team news over and done with. I think for the sake of the preview, we do not include Lucas Paqueta.
Okay.
Because I think if he was available, it's obvious what we're going to do. Right?
Yeah, okay.
I think it'd be an obvious player to take out, and Paqueta goes in, depending on which we do, right? Cool. So, in goal.
Alphonse Areola in goal. Same for yourself, I assume?
Yeah, easy enough. I think the defence picks itself as well, actually.
I think so, doesn't it? Ben Johnson at right back, Zuma and Mavropanos other way round, and obviously Emerson at left back.
Well, that was nice and easy. Right, moving into midfield. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because I would argue, we've got 3 spacers and 4 players.
Yes.
We've got Alvarez, Souček, Ward-Prowse, and now Kalvin Phillips. And we've got 3 spaces. Question marks over how ready Kalvin Phillips is. Also, I read an article last week and it was basically saying, it was from the Man City side of things. It basically said, Kalvin Phillips don't need match sharpness. He is match sharp. Man City's training is that good. Sure. You are match sharp. Like, training gets you ready for the game at City. Who would you like to see in midfield on Thursday evening?
Well, yeah, to be fair, he's probably had a few days at the porter cabins now, so that edge has probably come off him a little bit, hasn't it? But I would still play him. I would play him. Excited, really excited by this signing. It's funny that excited by a CDM, as they call it now.
Because I'll tell you why. Because we don't need an attacker. Not when Paqueta, Kudus, and Bones available. You know there's goals. It's the midfield that we feel has been a bit of an issue. That's why I'm excited. Because I wouldn't say it's the missing piece to the jigsaw, but it could be. It's certainly a pivotal piece.
That's been a problem position for us, Geo. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'll play him alongside Edson Alvarez. I'll leave James Ward-Prowse in, and I'm kicking Thomas Souček out the team.
I am as well. What's your reasons for, I guess, Ward-Prowse ahead of Souček, really? Because I think most people would like to see Phillips and Alvarez, so it's a case of which one of the other two.
Well, we're missing creativity anyway, and I don't think either Ward-Prowse or Souček have masses of creativity, but I think he's got a little bit better ball control and a little bit better passing than Thomas Souček, and we get the set pieces delivery as well. So I just think there's a little bit more threat. We're not going to see Souček getting into the box all the time, and the things that we want Souček to do, he's not going to be doing. It's not really how we play particularly anyway. So, it just makes sense. Ward-Prowse allows him to press from the front. I think that takes the pressure off Bowen when he does that as well. I just think it all sort of fits in a little bit as well. And, he's got to score that free kick at some point, hasn't he?
I think Souček's a really good option off the bench as well, regardless of the outcome of the game. If we're hanging on to a lead, brilliant. Get Souček on and fill that midfield up. We need a goal, brilliant. Get Souček on and get him in the box. But I don't think you need Souček, Phillips, and Alvarez. I think you've got 3 sort of pretty strong defensive attributes. 3 players with good defensive attributes. Different ones. Souček's better in the air than perhaps the other 2 are. But you're missing that offensive side to the game. And I think they all, to some extent, have a threat from open play going forward. But I think it's quite limited. And who would be the one that was furthest advanced out of those 3? You'd probably be looking at Souček as that man. Phillips was a little box-to-box under Bielsa, so he's not against getting forward. But there's a difference between seeing Phillips getting forward and staying forward. I don't want to see Phillips alongside Jared Bowen pressing the Bournemouth centre-backs. That is a role that I think Ward-Prowse has carried out very well for us this season. I think the way that Bournemouth play will allow us to have Ward-Prowse up front pressing alongside Jared Bowen, but stepping back when needed. And I think the balance of that midfield 3 would be better than one that was Souček over Ward-Prowse, for example. Moyes has also got to do a little bit of almost like reverse planning here because it's a quick turnaround. We're playing Thursday, then we're playing Man United on Sunday. So I think there's a fair expectation that possibly Phillips wouldn't be able to play 90 minutes on Thursday and start on Sunday. And that's why I think Souček will be key. If you had, for example, Ward-Prowse on the bench and you were going to have to take off Alvarez or Phillips, you're bringing Ward-Prowse on. I think that midfield composition, whether it's been working or not, it gets a little bit tilted. You're not bringing on a like-for-like replacement there. And I'm not saying Souček is exactly like Phillips or Alvarez, but I do think defensively he's got that protection that you would assume the other ones are providing prior to the substitution. So we agree on that one as well, Gonzo. Now, our front 3, I think we can agree on 2 of them, but talk me through what you would like to see further up the pitch.
Obviously Kudus Jared Bowen, of course, to see that partnership flourish and continue a bit more. Really good to have him back. Well, I guess both of them back, you could say, in that sense. Maxwell Cornet on the left for me. I think it's the right option and quite possibly the only option if we're to assume that both Benrahma and Fornells are both very close to signing for different clubs and may well have already signed by then. I can't even see anyone else playing. But look, I think we're baby steps of his recovery as well. I think he deserves to start there as well. As we mentioned before, if you can just get 5% better each game, then that's really cool. He looked a threat the game before last, scored the other one. Let's keep that getting better.
I think it has to be Cornet. I mean, truth be told, even Cornet is potentially joining Nottingham Forest on loan. So by this time tomorrow, Wednesday, this bit could be invalid. But if it is, we've got a problem because we don't have Benrahma, regardless of his move. He's suspended.
Yes.
If Fornells really is in advanced talks with Real Betis, there's a good chance he's not even in the country at this point. And then Cornet could be joining Nottingham Forest. We don't even have anyone else. Mubama's available, but Callum Marshall no longer available because he's joined West Brom on loan. We don't have any other players. Of course, there's the other bit, which is we could have brought somebody in, but getting that deal done by lunchtime on Wednesday, I feel is difficult. It's easier to sell a player before the Bournemouth game than there is to sign a player by 12 o'clock on Wednesday. We could have signed
tomorrow. You're talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow lunchtime.
So we could effectively, before this game, sell 2 or maybe even all 3 of those. Well, Benrahma doesn't count. Out of Cornet and Fornells, we could have authorised the sale or loan of both of those players and brought nobody in. So we could be looking at a situation on Thursday night where we've got Paqueta, Mubama, or nobody. I have a bit of a worry for this game.
That you're going to see all 4 of the central midfielders. Yeah.
I think you might see Ward-Prowse left wing.
Yeah.
And then Souček, Phillips and Alvarez in the middle.
Yeah.
Or more of a narrow 4 midfield and Bowen and Kudus as strikers or something.
I'll give you something else. You ever worried we play that, we win and win well and dirty. So they're playing the fast, cheeky football. We're playing the slow, boring stuff. And we win 2-0 against Bournemouth, and Moyes is thinking, the old. I don't know what you call it, like a 2-man pivot. I still don't really know what that means, but Moyes is thinking, I don't mind a 2-man pivot. I might go with a 4-man statue tactic is working nice here. Do you know what I mean? So might get that.
It's called a double pivot, but 2-man pivot.
4 men is called a double pivot.
2 men's called a double pivot. When you said a 2.
Yeah, I don't know what it means.
Yeah, I know. But the other thing we could do is go to 3 at the back. But the problem is we're lacking centre-backs as well. So it's Ogbonna or Creswell that would come into the back 3. Unless he plays Alvarez in there and uses the other 3 midfielders in midfield and goes 2 up front. I'm inclined to think that's maybe what he'd do, where we see Zuma, Mavropanos and Alvarez as centre-backs, Phillips, Souček, Ward-Prowse in midfield, and then Kudus and Bowen as strikers.
What a squad.
We went from too many players to no players. How's that happened?
I don't know.
We've got no players here. We've got... Anyway, so hopefully West Ham doesn't start sanctioning sales left, right and centre. Otherwise, Moyes could find himself on Thursday night with nobody to call on. It's very possible the only senior players on the bench will be Ogbonna and Creswell at this point. Ings, of course, we've got Danny Ings. We could always play Ings up front and move Bowen over. Oh, no. He did do well in his last game, Ings, as a number 10, didn't he?
That's it, isn't it? That's it. There's no reason at all why either Kudus or Bowen can't play left wing for a game. None. So they're both wingers. They're both wingers anyway. They're both left-footed. What are you going to say? Do I think that's what he's going to do?
Yeah, do you think that's maybe what we'll do?
No, because I do think Paqueta is going to play. But obviously playing your game, I would choose Cornet.
Yeah. Anyway, right, before I ask Gonzo the second last question, you all know what it is if you're regular around here. This video is sponsored by Match Bingo, combining one of the favourite games of the country, the most popular sport in the country, and it includes your favourite teams, combining bingo with football. Yes, you heard me right. Bingo with football. But I'll tell you what, It's really good. We've been playing it over the last couple of weeks prior to accepting the brand deal, and we're excited to bring it to you for the remainder of this season. Now, the link is in the description below to download the app. It's a free app. It's free to sign up as well, and there's free to play games on there. And that's all we're going to be promoting at the minute. Now, there is paid games. It is a gambling app, so it's 18 plus. Please do gamble responsibly. But gambling responsibly is something the app have taken into consideration, because the most you pay to play is £2. That's the most you pay. You cannot stake more than £2 on a card. But play the free-to-play games to get involved and to work out if you like it, and just to get used to get to grips with the apps as well. So this weekend, Everton take on Spurs, and there's a free card every single weekend. There's a free card that you can get. So get that bingo app downloaded, get signed up, and get that free card activated. So when you're watching Everton take on Spurs at the weekend, you can play along. You don't have to do anything. The card automatically updates itself for you. But there's prizes for first line, second line, and full house as well, with big jackpots. So please do get involved. The link's in the description below. And thank you to anybody who does download it and sign up. Gonzo, are you confident?
Yes, I am.
Are
confident.
you?
I am confident. Yeah, I am.
Why?
I think Phillips is a big signing for us. Kudus is one of the best footballers in the league. I'm slightly worried about our defence, it has to be said, because Solanke is really good in the air as well. So they are going to test us. There's no doubt about it. I do think we're going to see the double statue of Phillips and Alvarez, and I think that may well be enough to stop their midfield functioning. I think we're going to see some. I think we'll see some good distribution, which we've not really seen that in the last few games, because it's been Souček and Ward-Prowse in there. I think that's going to open up the game as well. And I do think that Paqueta is going to play. And I think it's just going to be a little bit too much, because I think we might have a situation where we've got at least 2 world-class players in the team, and then possibly 3 really, really good international standard players. And I think so I'm very, very hopeful. We also see the best comes out of Emerson. We've got a highly motivated, when all those guys are playing, got a really highly motivated player who's going to start at right back as well, who's been in really good form, good goalkeeper. I am confident, it has to be said.
I wouldn't say I was confident. I'm excited, though. I'm really looking forward to this one, actually. I think what's deterring me going from optimistic and excited to confident is it's just the opposition, truth be told. It's just Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are in really good nick at the minute. I think they're playing good football. And I think they're playing the type of football that can sometimes hurt us. Now, funnily enough, it's also the type of football that we can sometimes succeed against with our low block and playing counter-attacking football. So it certainly swings and roundabouts in that regard. But I think the only thing just preventing me from expecting a West Ham win is my respect for Bournemouth at the minute, truth be told. But I'm really looking forward to this one, because while we are missing a few players or an incomplete squad, depending on departures and arrivals, the ones we want available are available.
Yeah.
Soufal, it'd be better if we had him, but if Soufal was available, I'd still be sitting here saying I'd rather see Ben Johnson right back for this game. Aguerd being available would make us better in terms of a squad. But again, even if he was, I'd still be sitting here saying Mavropanos and Zuma for me, please. So our first 11, the 11 I want to see start, depending on Lucas Paqueta, is available for this evening. So we should have our first 11 out there. Even with a small squad on the bench, we will likely have 1 or 2 players, whether it's a half-fit Paqueta, whether it is Souček, whether it's Ward-Prowse, whether it's Kalvin Phillips. Might as well have 2 or 3 players on that bench he can bring on that will have a positive influence on the game as well, whether we need a goal or we're defending a lead. So I'm really looking forward to Thursday night. And do you know something? I'm already looking forward to Sunday against Man United. I know we need to get this game over and done with, but I just really relish these games against Man U. And I'm more confident for Sunday's game against Man U than I am for this game against Bournemouth.
I know why.
That.
Yeah, I know why. Yeah, for sure.
I will say that. Can I get any final words, Gonzo, on your all-important score prediction, please?
Yeah, so looking forward to it, very much so. Hope to get to see Phillips. I think the Pac-Man playing is crucial to my confidence, by the way. I think without him, it's one creative player too few. I still think we can score, But so much of the onus is on Bowen and Kudus then. I think with 3 of them, these dangerous players, and that's before you even factor in our set piece, Ward-Prowse's set piece delivery. I think we become a bit of a pain actually to play against. I think we become a defensive team. We're fast on the counter attack and can spray long passes, and we can score from corners and free kicks, which makes us a problem. And for that reason, I'm going to factor in that everybody's available that we've already discussed, and I'm going to say West Ham 3, Bournemouth 1.
Oh, well, I hope you're right. I'm going to go for a draw. Go for a score draw, an entertaining score draw. I'm not confident Paqueta will be available, and if he is, I'm not confident he's going to be available to start. So for that reason, I'm factoring that in, because Gonzo's prediction is that Paqueta is going to start and we're going to win. My prediction is Paqueta is not going to start and we're going to draw. So I'm going to say West Ham 2, Bournemouth 2. There's goals in this game and I'm looking forward to it. If you've enjoyed this preview, please do drop a like, comment by clicking thumbs up, subscribe to Hammer's channel. You fancy playing some match bingo at the weekend, get your free card for the Everton Spurs game. Links in description, massively helps us out as well. This is the first video promoting them, so we are going to do this one so we look good. We'll catch you in a bit.